Are you at a loss for why the law of attraction is not working for you? It really sucks to think positively, to visualize future success and abundance, to do all the things the experts tell you to do, but still get no results. So what's going on? Well, in this video, I'm going to reveal the true hidden cause of failure that the vast majority of people who try to apply the law of attraction are completely unaware of. But more importantly, I'm going to teach you the surprisingly simple technique that gets incredible results. This is a very counterintuitive solution that the vast majority of law of attraction teachers don't teach at all. Right? They don't even talk about it, and there's a reason for that. It's because it actually undermines some of their biggest teachings, and of course, they can't have that. And I know this from years of trial and error and failure, which finally led me to figuring out the simple solution that I had been missing all along and that most people miss. So stick around, you're definitely not going to want to miss this. Hey, I'm Ziad Masri. I'm the author of the best-selling book Reality Unveiled, and I'm also the founder of SoulHub.com. This video is broken up into two parts. In the first part, I am going to reveal the real hidden secret for why the law of attraction has not been working for you no matter what you try. And then in the second part, I'm going to show you how to flip on the simple switch that just changes everything around and getting it to finally start doing what you always wanted it to do. So what's the number one thing that the law of attraction teachings tell you to do? Teachings like, the movie The Secret and all these other teachings that have come about since then, right? And it's to think positive, right? It's to visualize what you want to occur in a positive way, to have positive emotions, and to not let any of the negative stuff come out, because like attracts like. And if you think positive things, you will attract positive results, right? That is what everyone is taught about the law of attraction. Well, the problem with that is that it has a major flaw that no one seems to be talking about. All right. And the real flaw is this. It's that while that sounds logical on the surface and there is a lot of truth to it, the hidden flaw is that it really addresses the conscious mind. All right. It's basically telling you what you think consciously you will attract. And that is actually absolutely incorrect. All right. It's really the subconscious that attracts everything into your life. And if you've heard that before, let me explain scientifically why. So there's this thing that in the Eastern traditions, right? The West hasn't really caught up to this that much, but in the Eastern traditions, thousands of years from Buddhism to Taoism to so forth, they know about this thing called qi, life energy, if you've ever heard that term, qi, right? The life energy in the human body, the chakra system and all that is really kind of based on this fundamental concept of qi. And in terms of actual physics, what this is that surrounding, not just inside the body, but surrounding the body is a subtle energy field. All right. And this subtle energy field is like literally a vibrational field that is emanating from everyone's body. And what is actually producing the vibration of this field is the subconscious mind, is what's in your subconscious. All right. And so it's all the hidden feelings that you're unaware of, the beliefs that you have yet to explore, all the patterns of thinking from early childhood and so forth, all those things that you don't want to see about yourself, you don't like about the world, you hate, you kind of push down into the subconscious since you were a child. It's a coping mechanism for dealing with trauma, dealing with tough things, and it's basically a way that the mind dissociates anything that doesn't make it feel good, and it kind of pushes it down, so it goes into the subconscious. All right. Now, the reality is that the subconscious is a thing that is emanating this subtle energy field. And if you study physics, quantum physics to be specific, what you'll discover is that it is true that you attract, like attracts like, that you attract what you're vibrating out. But it's absolutely not true that what you're thinking consciously is what is causing this attraction. That is only a very tiny little minority of what the overall attraction mechanism relies on. All right? What it really relies on is the subconscious. It's all those things that are hidden. Now, the problem is that you've been taught to think positively, to visualize positive success, to visualize yourself already having it, whether it's a relationship or money or career success or whatever it may be. And so you go about doing that. You go about thinking positive thoughts and visualize it, and then nothing happens. And the reason for that is because you're unaware of all the subconscious mechanisms that are actually predominantly affecting your energy field, your subtle energy field. And that's what's attracting those things that you don't want to, and you have no clue why. This is the problem. Now, the issue is that most people are completely unaware of this, all right? They think, well, what's wrong? I'm thinking positive, I'm doing everything right, but it's still not happening. So that's one, when you're unaware of something, obviously, you can't fix it. But then two, there's a really hidden, insidious mechanism that is at play here, and it's the wrong teachings. So that because the teachings are telling you, especially like the movie The Secret, is telling you, hey, just think positively, just feel gratitude towards it and you'll get it, all right? Well, if it was only that simple. The problem with that also, it creates this unintended consequence, this very negative consequence. So you think, I should only be positive, right? And which means what happens is that you're going about your day and you're trying to manifest something, fine? Whether it's a relationship or money or success or whatever it is, okay? And so you're trying to manifest it, and then some negative thought, your emotion about that subject pops up in your mind. So for instance, you're thinking about, manifesting a great relationship, but then some uneasy feeling about relationship comes up. Maybe it's a thought of, relationships are about heartbreak or they're really hard work, or you're thinking about, manifesting money or career success, but there's underlying this feeling of, I don't deserve it, or, money is the root of all evil, or, money doesn't grow on trees, or things like that, right? And that is kind of coming up, these negative thoughts. But you have been trained to think only positive thoughts. That's what you've been told to do. So what do you do when these negative things come up? You go, oh, no, I don't want to think that. That's going to attract the negative things to my life. So I'm going to push it down, block it out of my mind, and continue thinking positive thoughts. That seems logical, but that's the true hidden cause of why the law of attraction is failing for you. Why? Because it's not true that if you allow those negative thoughts to come up, then you'll attract the negative things. The reason being, you're already not attracting the positive things. You're already attracting these negative things because whether you allow them up consciously or not, they are in your subconscious and therefore they are permeating your subtle energy field, which means you're already being greatly affected by them. So when you're saying, no, I just want to think positive, it doesn't matter. Your energy field is emitting the negative. And so that's what you're attracting into your life. That's the issue that most people are just not realizing. All right? And so it's a big trap to tell people just think positive thoughts, because not only does it not work, because it's just utilizing the conscious, but it has the very negative, unintended, hidden consequence, which is the true cause of failure, that what it does is it keeps you from looking at this subconscious stuff. It keeps you pushing it down more and more, where it has the power to affect you, and you never are able to heal it. And that's the real hidden cause of all your issues with the law of attraction. And so now in part 2, I'm going to tell you the counterintuitive and very simple solution for actually transcending this and really starting to get it to work for you like you've always wanted. So how do you go about changing the subtle energy field surrounding your body, and it's the vibration that it's emitting, so you can actually start using the law of attraction properly in your life? That is the real question you need to be asking yourself. And the actually very counterintuitive, simple solution comes inspired by the great mind of Carl Jung. Okay, so if you don't know him, Carl Jung is actually an incredible psychologist, in my opinion, greater than Freud ever was, and kind of a little underappreciated from that perspective. But he said something that is incredible and stuck with me throughout my life. And he said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light. He becomes enlightened by making the darkness conscious. Wow, now that's a very, very powerful and counterintuitive proclaimment, right? You become enlightened by making the darkness conscious, okay? So now what we're talking about here, okay, we might not be talking about enlightenment, but it applies exactly to this, okay? We're talking about becoming more conscious. So you want, the law of attraction to work. And what you're doing by just thinking positive thoughts and imagining, positive futures is you're essentially, what Carl Jung says, is what you're doing is imagining figures of light and thinking that that's going to work. Where in reality, the true way to do it is to make the darkness conscious. So how do you do that? Well, what that really means is all this hidden stuff that's in your subconscious that's actually affecting you now without you realizing it, that's emitting this negative, subtle energy field, you need to bring that out of the subconscious into the conscious mind for healing and releasing. That is the trick to it, okay? Now, here's where it gets counterintuitive, and that's why this is such a surprising technique. Most people would think that to do that, you gotta fetch it out and then really just work hard to change it. But that's not how it actually works, okay? So the real technique is one that is called, essentially, I call it non-judgmental witnessing, okay? And the essence of this technique is that essentially what you wanna do is you wanna become aware of any time you have a negative feeling or a negative thought about the subject that you're trying to attract or that you want to attract into your life. Now, usually you've been taught, block it out, just stay positive. I'm telling you to do the opposite. I'm telling you, if you just try to stay positive, it's not going to happen anyway because your conscious mind is not what's affecting this. So forget about that and let's go and actually look at the negative here, right? Now, most people at this point would say, but wait, if I look at the negative, won't that make me have negative thoughts and won't that attract the negative into my life? And that's the big mistake. It's already being attracted by your subconscious. So when you bring it up to the conscious mind, that is not causing the negative to become attracted to you. All right? To the contrary, that's what's going to allow you to release it so it's no longer attracted to you because it gets removed from your subtle energy field. So it's a very important point to really understand here. All right? Now, the way you do it is, again, through this thing called, non-judgmental witnessing. So anytime you're thinking about something, let's say, you're on track to success in your career, money, great relationship, love, whatever it is, right? And then you would have it already. It would already be in your life unless there is some limiting belief or emotion that is blocking it. So anytime you think about it, if you're honest with yourself and you just kind of pay attention, there'll be some kind of negative feeling or reaction arising in your body towards it. And the key here is instead of blocking that out like you've been taught to do, actually pay attention to it. All right? Look at that feeling and just sit with it. Don't try to change it. Don't try to get rid of it. Right? Just be with it. And the way I can best explain this is imagine what a loving mother, how she would be with a child that is kind of acting up if she's a conscious mother, right? Instead of hitting the child or getting angry at the child, if you can be present and just be for them for their lovingly and kind of with understanding, that child will calm down. All right? And so it's the same way here. You want to just witness that emotion, witness that belief without judgment. Just have compassion for the human self that you are that believes that for whatever reason, it's not your fault, it's been programmed into you at some early age by some experiences or by parents or whatever it is, right? And so just witness it. Be with it with compassion, right? Just kind of shine the light of awareness on it. Now you think, well, what could that do? Well, that changes everything, even if you don't notice it in the moment as you're doing it. What's happening when you bring something to the conscious light of awareness instead of keeping it in the subconscious and pushing it away, what happens is it just dissolves naturally. The stuck energy, the emotional pattern starts dissolving. Why? Because what you're doing is you're shining the light of love on it. That's what it is. It's you're unconditionally accepting it. You're being loving, you're being compassionate. And there's this incredible power, this force in the universe, and it's the greatest force there is, and that's love, it's compassion, right? And when acceptance, so when you have that towards these things in the subconscious, they start naturally dissolving in the light. That's what Carl Jung said by making the darkness conscious, is don't be afraid to look at it. Look at it with understanding, not with judgment, right? Because judgment is just aversion, which dissociates it and keeps it down. That's the first thing, right? The second thing is I'm not saying indulge in it. So I'm not saying if you have the thought, for instance, relationships are super hard work, they always lead to heartbreak. I don't mean start now visualizing that, because that's just a story. That's not what this means. Non-judgmental witnessing is exactly what that, witnessing. You watch a thought or feeling arise, or you look at it, and you don't get into the mental story and indulge in it. Because really there's a spectrum. On one end, what I've been talking about is dissociation, right? And aversion. That's what keeps it in the subconscious. And on the other end, the polar opposite of this is indulgence or addiction, where you're constantly replaying that story in your mind consciously, and that does no good either. Both those are kind of not where you want to be. You want to be right in the middle. You want to be in what's called the nexus point or the balance point. And the middle point is neither aversion nor indulgence. It is just non-judgmental witnessing or acceptance of whatever issue it is. And that has this magical power to just heal it, to start dissolving it and letting it go. Now, this won't happen instantaneously, so don't just give up the first moment you looked at something and then it just doesn't go away. But it is faster and more powerful than anything else you can do. All right? There are many other techniques for doing inner work, and on this channel I'll be doing different videos regarding those, but this is the fundamental basis of that, right? Of all that work is this non-judgmental witnessing. And if you try that, you'll see in a short period of time, if you do it consistently throughout the day, anytime you think about whatever you're trying to attract, you'll see a big change occur. Because you're going to move from this energy of resistance and unconscious dissociation to acceptance, to allowing the darkness to come up, to be healed and leave, and your vibrational field, your subtle energy field is going to change, and that's going to change everything for you. All right? And if you've been paying attention, what I'm talking about here has really very little to do with just attracting a bunch of things in your life. That is, to me, the immature way to use the law of attraction. That's the old paradigm, a lower consciousness way to do it. And I kind of cringe when I go on YouTube and I look and I see how many teachers there are talking about how you can manifest this and manifest that. And it's all just this kind of, oh, just get what you want in life. And it's all this super self-centered, like, if I just do this, I can get this. And it's a very grasping type of energy, all right? And what I'm talking about here is doing some real, proper, spiritual work, some real, true work of inner awakening, all right? And that's what's really going to change your life and actually make you happy when you get what you want, whatever you want, right? Because if, you're not actually going to be happy if you haven't healed the subconscious stuff. You might get what you want and then, big deal. But when you do this inner work, and you bring love into the picture and you start letting your subconscious be healed, then fulfillment will start arising and you can attract more and more what you want in your life. So it's a more holistic approach. It's all about becoming a more spiritually awake and conscious human being that not just going after manifesting a bunch of stuff, but is really balanced in their life. And from that balance, manifestation can occur a lot easier and be a lot more fulfilling. Okay, so I hope you have really benefited from this video. If you enjoyed it, please click the subscribe button below, and when you do that, there's going to be a little bell icon that appears. Click on that so you're alerted to any time I put out a new video, which is always from my heart and soul for your spiritual awakening and empowerment. And now it's your turn. I want you to leave a comment below and tell me very specifically, what do you find it harder to do? Is it to be very consistent and thinking positively, or is it actually to acknowledge and look at the hidden darkness within? Let me know what's harder for you. Let me know why you struggle with it. Maybe I can help you in a more specific way with a future video. I'm very interested to hear what you think. I will reply to every single comment because I genuinely care about helping you guys really change things up in your life and living in a much more conscious and abundant way. And finally, if you really want to take your manifestation and law of attraction abilities to a whole new level and get to what I call Limitless Manifestation, I invite you to check out the absolutely free 2-hour training that I'm running on my site, soulhub.com. In this training, because it's so extensive, 2 hours of free training, I get into the depth of this stuff way more than I just covered in this video. I talk about the exact formula to use to really manifest in a limitless manner. I talk about all the different hidden traps that I haven't mentioned other than this main one, and just so much more that it's really life-changing if you get into that. So check out soulhub.com, open it up in a new window, click on the link below to be taken directly to the registration page for that free training session, but open it up in a new window. Why? Because I want you to not forget to comment, okay? Or just comment first. Like this video, share it with anyone that you think would benefit from it, that's been struggling with the law of attraction too, and then head over, register for that free training, and take your manifestation abilities to a whole new level. Thank you so much.